So here we go again. I don't know why all these things happen around me. I guess I got some kind of spell on me or something. I don't understand what's going on. It just seems like the world is becoming a movie screen to me. And things just seem to happen around me. I can't figure it out. But I happen to go to Food for More Less, again, and I'm trying to check out with my little stuff to make a couple of hamburgers, and I see a sister maybe about 70 years old trying to check out, and she's getting her things off the counter. And there's three young sisters behind her. And an argument breaks out. Youngsters want this sister to move faster. And the old lady's trying to tell them, well, I'm moving as fast as I can. And then the old lady says, well, listen, why don't you just back up off of me because, you should be 6 feet back. And the sisters go nuts on this old lady. I mean, they really start talking crazy to her. I'm in the line, you know, just across from him, and I'm there with another brother. And we kind of looking at each other like, man, have you ever seen youngsters disrespect the elders in this manner? So we kind of like observing and just trying to keep our eye on top of it because, Food for Less, you got these long lines and it's, our Latino brothers and sisters in line and, we in line and, white folks in line. And it's really, really, really embarrassing. Really, really embarrassing to see the young people disrespect the elders in the way that these three sisters was disrespecting this lady. And before you know it, the three youngsters have moved their cart out the way and they about to rush this woman in her 70s. A woman in her 70s. They're about to bum rush her. So I'm thrust into that crazy world again where, most people's mind would say, go on home, it's nothing you can do. But I'm not built out of that kind of material. I mean, what my mother and father put in me is really who I am. And so I got to walk around the counter and get in between the elderly sister and these three young sisters. And I say, hold on, that's your elder you talking to. I don't give a damn what she is. She about to get her beat whooped. And I'm saying like, no, she not. That ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna put your hands on her. And what's really a trip is, I'm 62 years old. I know me and all my homeboys know that no matter how crazy an elder goes off on us, we never gonna threaten them with violence. And if they go too far off, we just turn and walk away because, there's certain curses that go along with attacking old folk. So I tell the youngsters, I said, look, she got your point. Chill out. It's all good. She getting ready to get her groceries and y'all check out and it's over with. Ain't nothing over with. So I'm caught in this position. And the position I'm caught in is history and tradition is bumping up against modern day madness. History and tradition is bumping up against modern day madness. We got a generation of young people who are mad. And you reject history and you reject tradition and you put those of us who cherish what we've been taught in a situation whereas we may have to go into some altered states in order for you to understand why we're not going to let you put your hands on somebody old. We may have to change the way we act so that you can get a good understanding of what will happen to you in a real black community with real black people standing around when you in your 20s try to jump on somebody in their 70s. Because I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sick and tired of the ignorance that is running rampant in the black community. I'm sick and I'm tired of seeing old, beat up, grown ass women twerking your old soggy ass on Facebook. I'm sick and tired of people putting videos of black people fighting each other like mongrel dogs in the street, like none of you have any sense. I'm sick and I'm tired of listening to music on the radio where I can't even figure out what you're saying, let alone who you saying it to. I'm sick and I'm tired of you saying you a gangster, but your pants are on so tight that an ant couldn't crawl between your Peter and your butthole. I'm sick and I'm tired of hearing about y'all shooting each other up. I'm sick and I'm tired of seeing you buying all the weeds you can get, but you don't have enough money to own a car. High all the time, but you can't crack open a book. Got the greatest chance of any generation of Americans to do better with your life, but you do nothing. And all of these feelings, when they come together, you know what you get? You get a 300-pound brother who's tired and this close to make an example out of you. To make an example out of you. To show you what would have happened to one of us had we dreamt of talking to an elder in the way you talking to him. And here's what the problem is. You gonna rush this sister with me standing there. And if I cut loose on you, forget who you go get after that. Forget who you call after that. It's going to be in the newspaper that you got your butt brought to you. Because you've forgotten the traditions of black people. So here's what I got to say tonight, and here's what I recommend. To all of you black women who's supposed to be role models to these black young women, start teaching them right from wrong. And not only teach them right from wrong, but be an example of right before them. Because before we can talk about what white folks are doing to us, we need to correct what we're doing to ourselves. We must correct what we are doing to one another. We must get back into the business of when the elders talk, you be quiet and listen. We don't have to agree with what they say, but you must learn how to respect them to the extent that what they say can be heard. And if we don't start doing this, we are going to lose our race. When I grew up, when the old folks were talking, we couldn't even come in the room. I'm not talking about butting into their conversation. I'm talking about when the old people were talking, you could not walk in that room. Because they would stop whatever they were talking about, even if they were arguing with each other, to turn around and correct you to help you understand what it means to be respectful to the elders. And this is something that if we don't teach one another, we can't move forward as a people. Because the knowledge of self is passed from one generation to the next. And when you don't know that you are to respect the elders, then you have lost the basic fundamental principle which has brought black people over the bridges that we've crossed from here to eternity. And it's just a matter of time. I see it. It is just a matter of time between now and sometime very close, where the old black people are going to have to take control of this community because the young ones have let it go. You are not who you used to be, black people. You dyeing your hair purple, green, yellow, pink, blue. You wear pajamas out. You play your music so loud, the ice cream truck can't be heard over you. You speak in vile language. You treat one another as though life doesn't matter, as that one black life does not matter for another one. How long can we survive like this? When are we going to take a good look at us? Sometime real soon, real black folks, we're going to have to start drawing some lines. We're going to have to not only draw lines, but we're going to have to enforce the lines we draw. Because those young black girls who are ready to jump on a 70-year-old woman, they had children. And when their children watch them attack the elders, what can they expect from their children when they get old? How can we move forward when we are people divided against ourselves? How can we develop any kind of cohesive organization when we are divided as a people in our own communities? We have lost the basic fundamental understanding of what it means to be black, what it means to be amongst the elders, what it means to have respect for those that came before. But I tell you what, I hope it's not me. I keep telling you, I hope it's not me. Because see, when I grew up, we were told, well, leave them old folks alone. Don't bother them. Matter of fact, the old folks would tell you, we brought you here, we take you out. The time is coming where we're going to have to force discipline on our young people. And we're going to have to make them put up or shut up. Because how can white people respect us if our own young people don't? How can white people respect us if we don't respect each other, love each other, stand up for each other? You know, I said to the old sister, I said, you wait till I check out my food. I'm going to walk you to your car. She took off anyway. She was so angry and embarrassed. But I caught up with her. And she said, I want to thank you, sir. You didn't have to do that. Like hell, I didn't have to do it. I'm just thankful I didn't lose my cool. Because it had been wigs and juice everywhere. The world is changing. It's moving in such a rapid pace. It's headed downhill. And we have absolutely no mechanism, no culture, no organization, no possibility of surviving. Because we don't even love each other anymore. Now, I'm not going to be long with this, but I got to say this. I grew up in a world where if I saw my buddies' mamas trying to get their groceries in the car, I stop what I'm doing. I park my car. I go walk to the shopping cart. I said, Miss So-and-so, can I get your groceries for you? I grew up in a world where if I seen one of my friends' dads out cutting the line and I didn't have nothing to do, or even if I had something to do, I'm going to turn back around and say, Mr. So-and-so, is there anything I can do? And in those days, we didn't lock our doors. In those days, nobody was hungry. Wherever you were, that's where you ate dinner. You had to be at your house. If somebody's mother or father stopped to correct you, you didn't talk back. You shut up and you listened. And because you had the sense you were born with, you were welcome in their home. But how can I welcome somebody in my home who don't have the good common sense to let the elder speak, to show them the respect that is due them for the years that they've lived? We got to go to work, man. And we don't need to have no rallies. We don't need to go out marching. We don't have to set nothing on fire. We got to get into the ears of these young black people. I don't care if they Crips. I don't care if they Pyrus. I don't care what they are. And we got to start telling them the truth and how they must conduct themselves in order to wear the word black as their identity. See, it means something to be black. It means something to have lived what our people have lived collectively. And for us to be here 400 years, to take the beating that we've taken, and then to turn around and take that anger and frustration out on ourselves, and worst of all, out on the oldest among us. It means we got a problem. So I'm deputizing all you black people that got sense. I'm deputizing you. I'm freeing you from the fear of telling these youngsters what is and what is not true. What is and what is not going to happen in our neighborhoods. What is and what is not going to happen in our community. What is and what is not going to happen in our presence. And I don't care if they look like Godzilla, then had sex with Monster Zero and made a baby. You don't fear these youngsters. You don't let them get away with the mess they get away with. And you don't walk away from the circumstance of the situation. You tell them what the truth is. If you've lived long enough to know what the truth is, and you remain quiet on the truth, then you've already died anyway. If we got to walk around here scared of our own kids, we are dead people. We have lost our way. We don't even know where we are, who we are, or where we going. And guess whose fault it is? It ain't Donald Trump. It ain't the Proud Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, or anybody else. They've been around since we've been around. It's our fault when we don't stand up for the principles that have brought us thus far along the way. Respect your elders. Love your brothers and your sisters. Treat your neighbor like you want to be treated. Don't steal from those who live close to you. Respect people's wives and their mamas and their daddies. Act like who you are. The first, the greatest, and the last people on this planet. You feel me? You've been deputized. You free. Share this and pass it along. This is the only way we gonna survive. Ain't nobody that get elected gonna change us. Ain't no laws that get passed gonna make this any different. If any of you got good sense, you got it because your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your pawpaw, your aunties wasn't taking that bullshit out of you. And they'd go upside your head quick as they could get to you to make sure you knew what was right and what was wrong.